Healer by Deanna Sketcher. 1 minute. Just 1 goddamn minute alone is all I want. Between healing our young magicians to dealing with the ankle biters, I need time to myself. Some of you may be wondering who in the duat I am. My name is Jazz. I live in the 21st Gnome in Brooklyn House. I'm the main healer, so the responsibility of healing the trainees falls to me. Lucky me. Note the sarcasm. I had just asked Sadie if it would be all right if I went on a break for the day. She had said yes, but she wanted me to take a couple healing potions and bandages just in case something happened. Because when you're a magician and you're on your own, it's almost certain something will find you and try to kill you. I grabbed some magical supplies and some money I had been saving so I could buy myself lunch. I said goodbye to Sadie again, then left. Pretty much as soon as I left, I was attacked. But it wasn't a monster I'd ever seen before. The creature had orange paws with enormous claws that sparked as he walked on the concrete, making it look like he was using the concrete kind of as a nail file. It had a tail, a leathery, scorpion-like tail that bristled with spikes at the tip. Its face looked human enough, but the creature certainly wasn't. Its body was that of a huge lion. Its leathery, spiky tail whipped deadly thorns in all directions. I summoned my wand from the duat and used the spells Sadie had taught me when I first arrived at Brooklyn House. Hadi! It's one of mine and Sadie's favorite spells. Somehow the monster was still there. The spell should have destroyed it. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone run around the corner behind me. Shist! I heard the boy yell. He pulled a bow and arrow from his back and sent the arrow into the creature's eye. Now, normally I don't like animal abuse, but I think I can live with an arrow in the eye of a creature trying to kill me. Wait a minute. How was he able to aim so well? He fired more and more arrows while I made a defensive circle on the ground around me. Just as I finished the circle, the tail of the creature sent the poor kid flying. Then the creature shot the spikes from its tail at me. Luckily, the shield held. Toss! I yelled. A golden hieroglyph burned in the air over the creature's head. The twine whipped toward it like an angry snake, growing longer and thicker as it flew. The creature was wrapped up in a god-proof wrapping. I ran over to the kid to make sure he was okay. When I got there, as a medic, I immediately took in the situation. He had a large cut on his arm, and his head was half buried under the wall. The kid stared at me for a moment. I was worried he was going to shoot me. I had already used my energy on the monster. If he did, I would be a goner. He looked back and forth between me and the monster, as if deciding who was the problem. Hi, I said. Are you okay? You took a huge beating. He stared at me for a while before answering. I'm fine. I've had worse. I didn't see how, but he continued talking while I tried to find a healing potion. Who are you? He asked. I'm Jazz, I replied, still looking through my bag. And you? Will, he answered. He shifted into a sitting position. What did you do to the manticore? So that was a manticore. Good to know. Still had zero idea what a manticore was. He is stuck in the 7 ribbons of Hather, I replied. They're strong enough to hold gods, so it should be able to keep the monster trapped. I finally found a healing potion and pulled it out of the bag. Here, drink this. It will make you feel better. He took the potion with a quizzical look on his face. And this isn't going to poison me if I do? I laughed. No, it won't. It's a healing potion. I made it myself yesterday. Right, he said with a look of disbelief on his face, but he drank the potion. Immediately, he looked better, and his cuts and grazes started healing. We need to send it back to Tartarus. That way it won't bother us for a while. I stared at him for a moment, confusion clearly on my face. What's Tartarus? I had no idea what he was talking about. It's where monsters are sent once we kill them. Eventually they come back, but it takes a while, he said. You mean the duat? I asked. He stared at me for a minute. I give up. You must be some kind of demigod to have beat the creature. And making nectar is mainly the Apollo cabin. So you have to be a daughter of Apollo. I was dumbfounded. Sorry? I'm a magician from the House of Life in the 21st Gnome, My patron god is Sekhmet. I'm a healer magician. I was so confused. Who's your patron god or goddess? Now he looked dumbfounded. I don't have a patron god. I'm a son of Apollo, who is the god of archery, medicinal art, and the sun. We were both dumbfounded. After a while, I helped him stand up so we could deal with the monster. I tightened the bonds on the monster, crushing it while he got ready to aim for the creature's heart. Once we dealt with it, I helped him to the park. On our way there, we talked about each other's side of things. I learned that there were Greek and Roman gods in the world, as well as the Egyptian gods. He wasn't too surprised to learn there was another set of gods. Frankly, neither was I. When you're a magician and you save the world from a giant snake, you have a god that's a vulture, and monsters weirder looking than the manticore, not much can surprise you. We had been at the park talking for a while. Just then, I remembered I hadn't had lunch. Want to go get something to eat? I asked. He brightened up at the idea. I would love to, but I don't have any mortal money, he replied, looking a little embarrassed. No sweat, I said. I'll pay. So, what are we going to get? Thanks, he replied. We had decided to go to Subway. Both being healers, we were into eating healthy. We continued talking about our world as we ate our subs and drank our soft drinks. Eventually we finished, and we were just discussing what to do with this new information about the gods. For now, he was saying, we should keep our worlds separate, but how do we contact each other if there's an emergency? I considered that. Then I made a snap decision. Can I write something on your hand? He frowned. Like your phone number? Well, not exactly. I took out my stylus and vial of magic ink. Will held out his palm. I drew a hieroglyph there, the blade of Sekhmet. As soon as the symbol was complete, it flared gold, then vanished. Just say my name, I told him, and I'll hear you. I'll know where you are and I'll come meet you, but it will only work once, so make it count. Will considered his empty palm. So I'm trusting you that this isn't some type of magical tracking device. Yeah, I said, and I'm trusting that when you call me, you won't be luring me into some sort of ambush. He stared at me. Those bright blue eyes were really kind of scary. Then he smiled, and he looked like a regular teenager, without a care in the world. Fair enough, he said. See you when I see you, Don't say my name! Just teasing. He pointed at me and winked. Stay strange, my friend. Then he was gone. An hour later, I was back at Brooklyn House. Sadie and Walt Anubis came towards me. Chaz, Sadie said, we were getting worried something had happened to you. Why are you so late back? I fell asleep under the tree where I was eating lunch. I lied. Sadie didn't look convinced. She's my best friend, and she knows me well. I hate lying to her. When I woke up, it was nearly dark. Sorry if I scared you, Sadie. Well, as long as you're okay, Walt said. Though I'm pretty sure he knew I was lying. He is half god after all. He just didn't want to push the matter in front of Sadie. Well, I'm going off to bed, I said. Sleeping under a tree isn't very comfortable. As I walked up to my room, I thought about the Greek and Roman gods. It was going to be hard keeping this secret from Sadie. She was my best friend, and I hated lying to her. It was so strange knowing there were more than just our gods. And I felt bad for letting the other kids say that other civilizations like Greek and Roman were copycats. From now on, I'm going to try and stop these talks. It just wouldn't be nice to Will and his friends if I let the others pick on his kind.